Online confusion doesn't feel like a normal mistake. It feels like a crime you accidentally committed in public with your own thumbs as the witness. There's a specific kind of dread that only happens when a message leaves your phone and you realize you've just sent a version of yourself you didn't approve. It isn't even that the internet is forever in the dramatic, documentary way. It's forever in the way your brain replays it at 2:11 a.m., like it's doing a private screening of greatest hits. My worst timing. It's forever. In the way people remember the one weird phrasing you used one time and decide that's now part of your personality. And the cruel thing about texting is that it turns tone into a guessing game. In real life, a half smile or a quick shrug can save you. Online, all you get is text, no facial expression, no pacing, no I swear I'm joking energy. Just letters, standing there, cold and unhelpful. The same sentence can read as warm, sarcastic, passive-aggressive, or clinically unwell depending on the reader's mood and the last 3 things they saw that day. The week everything went sideways started on a Tuesday night, the least socially compatible day of the week. Tuesday has the energy of stale cereal. It's not close enough to the weekend to feel hopeful, but it's far enough from Monday that pretending to be productive starts feeling insulting. The body is technically present, but the brain is already bargaining for the next distraction. A group chat notification appeared, one of those long-running group chats that has survived multiple jobs, breakups, and phases of personality. The kind where the name changes like an inside joke that keeps mutating. At the time, it was called something like the boys' nitrogen monoxide, which is exactly the kind of humor men invent when they're trying to sound fearless while paying rent. Messages were flying. Someone asked who was down for a quick game, and the response felt easy. A simple, I'm down. Short, clean, normal. It had the confident efficiency of someone who definitely knows where their passport is. Immediately after that, someone else said they were starving. The brain, always looking for an opportunity to participate without effort, decided that hunger was relatable. The thumbs typed same. A harmless 2-second addition to the conversation. Except it didn't attach itself to the hunger message in the way the mind intended. It landed beneath I'm down, making it look like a man had responded to his own text like he was agreeing with himself in front of witnesses. Me, I'm down. Me, same. It wasn't catastrophic, but it had a very specific vibe, like a person rehearsing, being normal, and forgetting other people could see the rehearsal. The moment the screen registered what it looked like, a low-grade panic took over. Phi, the kind that makes the phone feel hot, even though it isn't. The heart did that sharp little jump, like it had been caught in the act of existing. The first instinct was to fix it. Online embarrassment tricks the brain into believing that if the perfect clarification is typed quickly enough, time will reverse. So a follow-up message arrived. Low LI meant same to the starving thing. Clarifications are never clarifying. Clarifications are a spotlight. They don't erase the weirdness. They underline it. Now the whole group had a reason to look back up the thread, slow down, and process the mistake in high resolution. Someone immediately asked why the clarification was so intense. Another decided it meant guilt. The chat responded the way group chats always respond, like a pack of friendly animals suddenly noticing a limp. That's the hidden rule of online social life. You're allowed to be weird. But the second you acknowledge it, it becomes official. The safest possible move would have been silence, but silence feels like surrender. So the next message tried to be self-aware. Nah, I'm just dumb, which normally works in real life because you can say it with a little laugh and move on. Online, it becomes a written confession. Someone replied, "We know," and the moment was sealed into the archive where small humiliations go to age into inside jokes. It could have ended there. It should have ended there. But online confusion doesn't come in one clean scene. It comes in waves, and it gets worse the more your brain starts paying attention to itself. Later that week, the confusion moved to DMEs, which are a completely different kind of danger. Group chat is chaotic enough that mistakes can get absorbed by the noise. A DM is quiet. A DM is a room with carpet where every sound is louder than it should be. A DM is where tone goes to die, and where the reader has unlimited time to interpret you in the worst possible way. A friend messaged to ask about a Friday plan. A normal question, a normal answer appeared. Yeah, probably. It was meant to be friendly, casual, unthreatening, but exclamation points are emotionally complicated. They can mean genuine excitement, forced cheer, anxious friendliness, or the digital equivalent of smiling too hard. Overthinking kicked in. The message stared back like it was asking to be judged. So a second sentence was added to make it feel looser. Depends how dead I am after work, lol. Better. Human. Slightly tired. Not overly enthusiastic. The friend replied that they'd been exhausted too. The correct response was basic empathy. Something like, "Ugh, that sucks." A normal, supportive phrase. Except the brain reached for a trendy expression and typed, "Ugh, I hate that for you." That sentence lives right on the edge of two meanings. Spoken aloud, it can sound caring. Written without any emoji or extra softness, it can sound like sarcasm. It can sound like judgment. It can sound like a person saying, "That's rough. Couldn't be me." And then came the waiting. No response right away. A silence. The most powerful amplifier of anxiety the internet has ever invented. The mind did what it always does. It wrote an entire story. It became certain the message had been read in the worst possible tone. It pictured screenshots. It imagined a group chat of strangers doing a full character analysis based on 7 words. It started bargaining with the universe for a second chance at being normal. That's when the worst instinct arrived, explaining. The next message tried to clarify the intention, but it did it in the most doomed possible way, by introducing a phrase that hadn't existed before. I meant like, "That sucks," not like, "I hate you." Now I hate you was in the thread. Now the conversation had, on paper, a tiny little emotional grenade. Even if the friend hadn't been thinking it, the message had planted the possibility like a suggestion. Eventually, the reply arrived. They understood. They knew what it meant. The moment was fine. A normal person would have ended it there. But after surviving a near-death experience, the brain always wants to keep talking, as if talking is proof that everything is okay. A joke was attempted something about witness protection because humor feels like a reset button. The response was a like. A like is not laughter. A like is an adult politely acknowledging that the conversation exists. A like is the internet patting your shoulder and gently guiding you away from the microphone. It still wasn't the worst moment of the week. The worst moment happened in an online game, which seems safer because voice chat exists. Voice has tone. Voice has emotion. Voice has the ability to save you from the coldness of text. Except voice chat has lag. Voice chat has people cutting in. Voice chat has microphones that sound like they're broadcasting from inside a dishwasher full of coins. Tone exists, but it gets chopped up and rearranged like a sentence you never meant to say. Mid-game, the situation got tense, and the body entered that weird focused state where the eyes narrow and the shoulders creep upward. An enemy appeared behind a teammate. The brain registered danger and pushed the words out fast, behind you. At the exact same time, someone else said nice. The audio clipped in the worst possible arrangement. The group heard the words collide into nice behind you. Silence. Not normal silence. Not concentrating on the game, silence. The kind of silence where the air changes. The kind that makes the scalp prickle because the room has decided something about you. The brain tried to fix it instantly, but the fix came out too fast, too loud, too chaotic. The more it was denied, the more it sounded like guilt. Nervous laughter didn't help. Nervous laughter never helps. Nervous laughter is basically a siren that announces you know you've done something weird. And that's how a single chopped-up sentence turned into a permanent label. From that day forward, anytime something awkward happened, someone would calmly repeat it, nice behind you, like they were checking a box, like the internet had assigned a catchphrase and would now use it as proof of your ongoing weirdness. That's what the internet is forever really means. Not that your posts will be found by future employers. Means your friends will keep a small museum of your worst moments and take visitors through it whenever the mood strikes. What made all of this sting wasn't cruelty from other people. It was the feeling of being misread. None of the mistakes were malicious. They were just timing issues. Tiny tone failures. The kind of thing that happens when meaning has to travel through a narrow pipeline, and everyone on the other end translates it through their own assumptions. Online communication is basically a constant game of telephone, except the last person in line is always your own anxiety. And still, there's something weirdly comforting about it. Because every time the shame gets loud, every time the brain insists, nobody else could possibly be this awkward, someone else fumbles in public in the exact same way. Everyone is out here doing their best. Everyone is failing in tiny ways. Everyone is collecting moments they'll never stop replaying. The only real solution is leaning into it, turning confusion into a story instead of a punishment. Because once it becomes a story, it stops being proof of your inadequacy and starts being proof that you're alive and trying to connect in a system that makes connection slightly harder than it needs to be. And if that story makes someone else laugh at their own worst timing, it's almost worth it. Almost. If you've ever had a wrong chat moment or a message that came out sounding like you were flirting, fighting, or losing your mind, drop it in the comments. Also, if you want more personal chaos like this, like and subscribe, because apparently the internet has decided my brand is human error with Wi-Fi.